watching.
Subscribe.
Hey guys, it's SoCal Val for Screen Stalker, and today we're on to the final phase of my marvelous review of every Marvel superhero film so far. And after this, you should be fully prepared to get super excited about the plethora of Marvel films coming up later this year. Before we get started, give us a subscribe and answer our question of the day. What's the best movie in Phase 3 of the MCU, and why? Let me know in the comments. First up, it's the third installment of Captain America: Civil War. Released in 2016, this film was directed by the Russo brothers and grossed over $1 billion at the box office with a $230 million budget. And y'all, what a freaking gem of a movie! Every single Avenger is in this film, kicking ass individually and as a powerful Avengers unit. The film received mostly positive reviews and is certainly integral to the story of the ever-expanding Marvel Universe. And speaking of expanding, at this point in 2016, Marvel went, okay, who else can we add to the mix? We need someone to play Doctor Strange. What about that British guy, Benedict Cumberbatch? Benedict Cucumber? Whatever, the guy who looks like he got stung by bees, but it's somehow kind of sexy? Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch, he's perfect. Throw him in there and make him an Avenger. Why not? In all seriousness, for me, casting Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange was an awesome Marvel move because I'm a Sherlock fan and a fan of handsome British men. Hello, why else would I move to the UK? It all makes sense now, right? And adding him as an Avenger brought a certain level of sophistication to the films because Benedict Cumberbatch isn't any old actor. Nay, he is an actor. Adding other super talented and industry-respected actors like Tilda Swinton and Mads Mikkelsen to the cast gave Doctor Strange the leverage it needed to gross an impressive $677.7 million at the box office. Next up, in 2017, was the highly anticipated sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy. All of the original cast is back, but of course, it's a sequel, so we've got to up the ante. And how do you do that? You put Kurt Russell in there as Peter Quill's dear old dastardly dad. Now, this film didn't do as well as the original Guardians, but I think most Marvel fans will agree that it was loads of fun to watch in the theater. Now, later in 2017, here's where things get weird. Marvel decides to reboot Spider-Man again. This time it's called Spider-Man: Homecoming, and get this, Spider-Man is not Tobey Maguire. What? It's not even Andrew Garfield, huh? It's some totally new kid that no one's even heard of. Well, unless you saw him in Civil War. But in a way, that's sort of what made the film cool and more relatable. Peter Parker is just a nerdy outcast kid after all, so Tom Holland deserves a lot of credit for his approach to the character. In fact, critics and fans praised the film for its more youthful and optimistic take on Spider-Man. It also stars RDJ as Iron Man and Michael Keaton as Vulture. Damn, I love Michael Keaton. I just didn't realize he was allowed to be Batman and then switch to Marvel though. Is that even allowed? Who sanctioned this? I'm sure he had to fill out a lot of paperwork. Next up, we have Thor: Ragnarok, released in November of 2017. This film received very positive reviews and a general consensus that Thor redeemed himself after that rather bland sequel. Chris Hemsworth is back as Thor, naturally, and they added some female badasses. Thor: Ragnarok features quite possibly my favorite actress of all time, Cate Blanchett, as our evil villain, who also happens to be Thor's sister, now serving family rivalry. Again, does this guy get along with any of his siblings? Damn, bro. Then we have Tessa Thompson, who plays Valkyrie, a very strong sidekick to Thor. Idris Elba also reprises and expounds upon his role as Heimdall. Heimdall? I don't know, he's sexual chocolate. Love Idris Elba. And you'll never believe who they got to play the Grand Master. A man who is truly sexy, a man who only needs one name, Goldblum. Ah yes, our beloved sexy whooping crane has landed in the Marvel Universe. I have to say this film is worlds away from the original Thor in terms of comedy, and characters like Jeff Goldblum and Korg legitimately steal the film. Hands down. Or hammer down. It's well worth a watch. Moving on to 2018, Marvel Studios produced one of the highest grossing and highest rated superhero movies of all time, Black Panther. You guys, you'd have to be living under a rock if you don't understand how huge this movie is. People didn't just simply love it, they raved about it. They couldn't get enough. Social media alone is still abuzz about how great this film was. Grossing over $1.3 billion worldwide, Black Panther totally changed the game when it comes to Marvel films. Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, and an impressive, well-rounded cast came together to take everything we knew and loved about Marvel films and make it even grander. And thank God this film struck a positive note, because we had no idea what Marvel was about to hit us with next, and this one's gonna hurt. So here we are in April of 2018, minding our own business, excited about the release of Avengers: Infinity War, starring all of our favorite superheroes. What we expected was an action-packed thrill ride where the Avengers tussle with the bad guys a bit, but then they save the world, right? Wrong! Oh, we got the action. We got brilliant acting, but then what did we get? A bloodbath. a bloodbath. I'm not even sure if I can still talk about it. I mean, I would have walked out of this film if I didn't see it on a plane. I had to sit there and rethink my life over and over. What did I just watch? It's no spoiler considering everyone's still talking about it, but Thanos literally kills, I don't know, half the universe. I'm just still over here waiting for answers like, why God? Why God? Why? Why? Oh God! Oh God! It was no surprise that the next Marvel film released later in 2018 was a bit lighthearted. Marvel eased our pain, if only slightly, with the sequel to Ant-Man titled Ant-Man and the Wasp, starring Paul Rudd and Lily Evangeline. As the title suggests, we now see a teaming of the two superheroes who are still relatively new to the MCU film franchises, but they're both quickly becoming fan favorites. This film really is the equivalent of putting a band-aid on that Thanos-induced wound. It's easy watching, packed with action, and of course, a lot of fun. Remember when Marvel was fun? Damn, y'all. How could Thanos just... I can't. Listen, I'm just as upset as you are, but there is a silver lining. Marvel has recently given us Captain Marvel, which I reviewed right here on Screen Stalker, and we have Avengers Endgame to look forward to. Plus, Peter Parker is back with Spider-Man Far From Home coming up later this year as well. So see, don't be sad. There's still plenty of new Marvel movie magic to come. Just stay tuned. I plan on reviewing all of them with you so we can go on this emotional roller coaster together. Speaking of which, we'd love to hear from you. Follow Screen Stalker on social media and tweet me at SoCal Valerie. Before you go, make sure to click the thumbs up on this video, give us a subscribe, and click the bell icon to enable notifications so you never miss a future episode. For Screen Stalker, I'm SoCal Val. We're watching.